So I've stopped taking my tablets and I've had a recent mental illness flare-up, and I've had a recent mental illness flare-up, and as a result of which I've been on eBay yet again, and I've bought this. This is an Atari SH205, a 20 megabyte hard drive, which came out around 1987. And with no leads, untested, I paid £50 for it, which works out just over, I think, $61. So apologies for the excited interruption. This is me about a week in the future. And I don't want to give any spoilers, but this video, if you're interested in Atari ST hard drives, you're going to really like it. It's a real roller coaster of ups and downs here. So before I jump back to me a week ago or so, I just wanted to say a thank you to my sponsor, PCBWay. PCBWay have been going around 10 years now and are a great choice for your project, whether it's printed circuit boards, 3D printing. They also do CNC machining. It's really easy to order online. Prices from $5 and shipping is really quick. If you've not tried them before, I highly recommend them because I've been a previous customer myself. It's not just that they're sponsoring this video to do so. They come highly recommended. Link in the description, please check them out. So here she is, and for the age of her, I don't think she looks too bad really. We've got the badge on the front, the Atari badge, SH205. And we've got a couple of indicator lights. We've got an activity light and a power light. And that is pretty much it. Moving to the back. We've got the power socket. We've got the power switch. We've got the ACSI connector out. And we've got the ACI connector in. So the out and in, the in would go to Atari, the out would go to another drive, and you can chain them up. I think you can chain up to, I think maybe seven different drives if you wanted to. Like a lot of computer plastics of this age, they do suffer some discoloration, but I'm pleased to say this one isn't bad at all. But clearly, it could do with a bit of a clean. And when I bought this, I bought it with no cables. And I realised that the cables themselves are 19-pin Atari cables. They're very difficult to get hold of. So I ended up paying quite a premium price, £55 for a cable. But nevertheless, I needed one. So I've got one on order and it's on its way. So in the meantime, I thought I'll open it up and give it a bit of a clean. So I've not been inside one of these before, but I guess it's going to be relatively straightforward. It looks similar to the underside of the Atari STs, where you've got round holes for stuff that you don't necessarily want to undo, and we've got the square ones for the case itself. So let's bob them out. Let's take the square ones out. Ta-da! Right. First things first, it looks a bit dusty. So I have to give that a bit of a clean. next thing to do is see if we can get this top cover off. And I'm pleased to say it looks like no one's ever been in here. So that's good. Straight. And there it is. Let's go hands-free for a bit of a close-up. So this is obviously the hard drive. I think it's MFM something, which means that they break for fun, and the chances are this is going to be dead. But there we go. Power supply and the controller board and a very dirty fan. So let's see if we can give it a bit more of a clean. I don't really want to do anything at all with the hard drive. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. So let's just work on a bit of a clean to begin with. Right, let's see if we can get the fan off. So cover removed, which is filthy. That's just stuck down with its filth. Fabulous. Right, I've got my little side cutters. Let's see if we can free up this fan. And just another one over here. That should be our fan off, which it is. That is absolutely minging. Right, I'll give that a bit of a clean off camera. I think the only way to clean this case properly is to bob this whole motherboard out, which slightly apprehensive to do, but I think we need to. Right, let's work out what we're doing. So those will be the screws for the drive. Got some screws up there for the motherboard. Another screw there for the motherboard. Let's see if we can bob this hard drive out. Just want to keep it supported. I don't want it to drop back onto the desk as I do it. So that's hard drive free. The screws got stuck in there. Right. Disconnect the old Molex, and that should be free. Right, so that's good. Let's sort the screw out. Right, let's get this board off. Open it with just these couple of screws. One there. And I think we've got one round here. We've got the power supply screwed in as well, so let's do that. Let's do that. Not had it powered on yet, so I'm not too worried about the power supply, but have we got more screws? Going to lift up. Right, that's coming away. Right, last thing then, just the power LED and activity light down here. That's that. Right. Time to give this case a bath. I'll be back. Well, the case is back from a wash inside and out and dried off. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. It's not bad indeed. I could potentially give it another wash, but I'm quite happy with how it's come out. Still a bit of staining there from around the fan and whatnot, but I think it's more than adequate, to be fair. I think the next thing to do then is to get it all back together. Right, let's get the motherboard and whatnot and get it back in. Right, next thing, let's get this fan in. And it's not perfect, but it's a lot cleaner than what it was. So label to the back or to the front, however you want to describe it, pointing out the back. And then we've got the little holder, 2 screws, one, right, so that's the fan in. Right, let's connect the power back up before I forget. Nice snug fit. And let's get a couple of tie wraps and tie it up properly. So a couple of tie wraps. Some around here. So I'll just put it through that way, it's going to make it easier for me. So that's one. I think there was just one on there, wasn't there? Something like that, I think. Right, let's put the lid on. So I just picked the camera up just to just give you a better view. But there's a reason why I think this is at least got a reasonable chance of working. And I've put the power card into the back, but listen when it starts up and watch these lights. So you've got the green light for the power. We've got the activity light. And it sounds, doesn't sound like there's any dying disk, does it? There's no grinding. We've got a bit of activity on there. And from what I can tell, reading up on it, that's doing pretty much what it should be doing. And I appreciate that's there's no guarantees. But let's hope so, because I've just spent 54 quid on a cable. So with the magic of editing, here is my £54 cable. £55, I can't remember. 19 pin. I'm not going to say they're impossible to come by, because I managed to get one. But not that easy. Not for a reasonable price anyway. So the only thing to do now is to get it connected up and cross your fingers. I have also got myself one of these discs, also new old stock, because apparently I will need one of these to run the hard drive. Right, I'm trying to not get my fat head in this, but this is the moment of truth. Everything's connected up. I'll put the utilities disc in. Don't know if I'll need it in straight away. But let's turn the hard drive on. Apparently you wait 20 seconds or thereabouts, or listen to the activity light stop, which it certainly has, hasn't it? Woo! I think that means do I need that? It's working. It's working. What are the odds? Ooh. What's all this jazz? Well, quite clearly somebody's gone and left a load of someone's gone and left a load of their stuff on here. Letters. Ooh. Right, I might need to go through this in the first instance. Yeah. Right, I'll stop recording while... Yeah, I'll stop recording just while I have a look. One thing you may have noticed with this hard drive is it's really noisy. And if you've watched my previous video on my hot air station, you will know that that's something that bugs me. Let's power it on and I'll show you what I mean. So I've turned the noise cancelling off. I'll just put the microphone near it. So the fan whizzing away. You get the idea. So, I've got myself this. I'm hoping it fits. I think it'll fit. But let's see if this makes any difference whatsoever, if it fits. So this is a Noctua NF-A6x25 FLX premium fan. And if the box is anything to go by, it certainly is quite premium. Awesome. I've already taken the screws out. And a quick edit and I'll have this top off. Right, so there we resume with the shield off. I don't know if I mentioned in any of my previous edits, but these dip switch selectors here, and these are for selecting which drive it is connected. So if you've got more than one drive connected, obviously the default with all of them up is 0. And then I presume they're marked up 1, 2, 3. So the second one, you pull that one down to 1, and then so on for 2 and 3. But yeah, that's the dip switch selection there. I don't know what that's for. Who knows? And there's a jumper there as well. I don't know what that one's for either. But providing everything works, who cares? Right, so let's get the fan open. Let's move that to one side. Well, that was the easiest unboxing ever. Normally I struggle like I don't know what. Manual. What an awesome little fan. I'm really hoping this will be a lot quieter. It's meant to be quiet. Right, let's get the other fan off. I've no idea if this is going to fit. I'm hoping it should. Looks same size, doesn't it? And then with the blades, it's going to be that way around as well, isn't it? Pushing air that way. Yeah, same as what that is. Right. Just put the carrier to one side for now. I'm going to have to take my cable ties off. Why don't you just put these on? Never mind. There we go. I'm going to have to do this little one down here. There we go. Hoping that is still in shot. Just forgot I'd moved over. Apologies for that. Let's just reorganise things a little bit. Right, let's get this fan off. So this is a 4-pin connector, but it's only using the middle two. So that one's got a 3 on it. Let's see what we've got in here. So we've got the potential of using that if we need to do. But let's just see what we've got. So there's a 4. Sorry, that's a 3 as well. Low noise adapter. I think these have resistors in to slow the fan down, but I don't particularly want to do that at the moment. Right, so none of these are 3 to 4, and yes, I could shave some of the plastic off. I'm just going to check that that definitely doesn't fit. Which of course it doesn't. It's worth checking anyway. So what I'm going to do, I might get a 3 to 4 adapter. But in the meantime, what I'm thinking is, if I just come into the supply here, connect that up. Connect that up, and then we have the fan. So to speak. Right. I think first things first is see if it works without a fan being connected onto the pins there. I can't imagine it making a difference, to be honest, but let's double check. Let's put some power. Let's get it powered up. Right, back in the room, I've got power coming in, which I think is plugged in. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Right, let's just stand the fan up and see if the machine wants to boot. Right, that is noticeably quieter. Let's just put the microphone there. So how does it look before? Well, I certainly heard the hard drive spin up, so it doesn't seem to be that the fan's going to stop it. What I probably need to do is Google the airflow on this and see how this compares with a Noctua. I'm hoping there's... So these adapters my understanding is they'll step it down and make it even quieter. But I don't really want to do that because obviously the fan's there for a reason, to keep it cool. So I'm going to leave those out of the equation. Put the microphone back on. Right, let's just turn the power off. Right. So most of the noise now is not the fan, but it's the flip, the hard drive. So that's good. Nothing I can do about the hard drive noise, and to be honest, I quite like the hard drive noise. So there you go. Let's work on getting this bracket refitted. This is one of those things where you sort of trust the internet and you order what you hope to be the right one. And on this occasion, thank you internet, it was the right one. What's that? What's that? Squidgy foam underneath. Right. Get this squidgy foam off the top. That's still going to stick. Not really. Let's get some double-sided tape. Right, I've got some double-sided tape. Let's stick that on there and we'll just cut it out. Right, moment of truth. Right, are we all ready? Then let's do it. Right, let's move the microphone around. That's massive improvement. That's a massive improvement. I think I'll have to keep that, obviously, because I keep everything, because I'm insane. I tried looking up some specifications on its flow rate and I couldn't find anything for it. So if anybody can find details on this, it'd be much appreciated, because I'd be very interested to know how it compares with a but I'm sure it'll do the job. So here it is back where it was before, so we can do like for like, because I'm sure you like me and you like to see it in the same scenario as what it was before. So let's power it on. The main concern here is that it doesn't get upset with the fan not being connected. But it's only a black and red wire, so it's not like it's measuring the speed of the fan or anything, is it? Let's power on the ST. Looks to be good. Yeah. Let's try loading something just to make it doubly sharp. Yeah. Where's it gone? There we go. Didn't like that. There we go. Oh, good. So that's one thing sorted. So as I would describe it, the noise level has gone from being obtrusive to manageable. And before I forget, because I didn't do it to begin with, I've turned the noise cancelling off on my mic. Let's just put it by the machine. So almost all of that noise is just whir of the hard disk as opposed to the fan, which is as much as what I could ever hope for. So if you've got one of these, and I think it's the same with the Mega STs, you might want to think about doing that yourself. So first things, apologies for not using screen capture. I don't have a screen capture card yet, so apologies for that. Please bear with me. It is on my wish list. So when I fired this up, one thing that I wasn't expecting, well, two things I wasn't expecting. The first thing, I wasn't expecting it was going to work. Because this drive's 30 odd years old now. And the second thing is, looking at the description on the eBay listing, and I'll bring that up if I can find it, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. The seller describes it as untested, power's on, but couldn't do anything more than that. And having already committed to buy it, I realised then, downloading the manual for it, that the heads on the drive don't park themselves. You've got to use the disk utility to do that. And to bring them out of park, you just need to power the unit on. So this unit's travelled to me in the post with the heads unparked. So I wasn't expecting the drive to work just as a result of that, even if they worked at the time before it was sent. And the next thing is, I've already alluded to when I powered it on, is it's full of programs and files. And this is really quite interesting. It's a warning perhaps to us all to get rid of data. But there's letters. And the interesting thing about this is not just the contents of the letters, but the dates of the letters. And it also tells me where the machine actually came from, which I think is really, really cool to know where this drive once lived. And if we have a look in letters, you'll see there's various different letters. I'm not going to show you them all, but I'll show you a selection, and I'll have to learn to edit them and blur out the address, because for all I know, this person's still living there, still alive, etc., etc. And I don't think it'd be fair to share that information. And there's even his bank statements on here as well, so I'm not going to go into those. But it's interesting looking back and seeing what people were paid as well. So let's open up Word and let's have a look at some of these letters. So this one I think is a good one. So let's maximize the view. Sorry, that one. So this is a letter to Greenpeace, dated 14th of March 1992. And I'll scroll through and let you enjoy reading it. This one made me chuckle. So that was good. Let me see if I can find the other fun ones. And this is to Scion. 22nd of September 1991. Ooh. So this was quite obviously somebody who was quite into the tech at the time. And then he must have had some success and a response to that, because he then does another letter. It would seem now that the fault's getting worse, because now it's only 45 degrees. So good fun, interesting. Like I say, perhaps a warning to us all to protect our data, because you never know when it's going to pop up in the future on some idiot's YouTube channel or whatever the thing is in 30 years' time. I think this is to Isha Micros. It is. What else have we got? Let's close that. Now, I'm not sure why, but when I try and copy any file onto the hard disk, it doesn't work. And I'll show you what I mean. So here's Mod Pies, classic game. If you haven't got it, you need it. So number of files to copy, 1, OK that. Accesses the floppy disk. And it's supposedly written that successfully to the hard drive. But as you will see, it's not there. And I've tried copying other files onto the hard disk, and each time it does the same. And I think it's more than it's just not showing them. So it's not adding it to the file table. I think it's more than that. I don't know what I think really, because if I try to do it again, it would normally give me an error if it did actually exist to say that, do you want to replace the file? And when I try again, here it's accessing the floppy disk. And no errors. It's not warned me there's a duplicate. So it's not doing it. And I wonder if it's because when these have been set up, he's given them different names and it's perhaps getting confused somewhere. So instead of it being hard disk C, or perhaps he gave it different drive letters. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But it doesn't matter which disk I copy it to, the results are the same. If I go and do it today, let's have a look in date, and it's not there. So I'm not 100% sure why, but I suspect it's because it's not been set up with my machine and is perhaps given the drives different names, like I say. And I think the only thing to do is to try reformat it. And to do that, got my hard disk utilities, and we'll say goodbye. Pardon me. And we will say goodbye to all the stuff that used to reside on his machine, on his hard disk. I've no need for them, have I think it's this one. Disk activity lights flashing away. Last chance to quit. Right, so I'm back to square one. I have no idea why I can't format the disk. I can't delete anything from it. And with that message that came up earlier, where I tried to partition it and it said I was using, this had been formatted with an older version of HDX. I'm wondering if I need to use an older version to do this. So I've had enough of it for tonight. I need to get to bed because I'm up for work early in the morning. No doubt some Atari enthusiast is watching this screaming out the answer going, I know why it's not working. But I certainly don't. And everything just works. I don't think the disk is faulty. I think I need to try an older version of HDX and see what that does. Right. I shall resume recording once I've had some sleep, gone to work, done some Googling, and hopefully have another version of HDX to try. Right, 24 hours later, and struggling with wire space there, but I've got an older version of the HDX utility, version 2 on this Gotek. Now, I'll double check this. Right. So this is version 2. What was the one yesterday? 4.01. I think it was, wasn't it? Just checking the disk. It doesn't actually say on the disk. I think it was 4.01. So this is, I'm certain this is an older version. So, right. As we know from yesterday, this didn't work. Ooh. This is completely different. We didn't have this option last time. So SH205. Ooh. Let's do it, shall we? Well, I'm not going to keep recording this because I think this is going to take several hours, if indeed it works at all. So I'll resume recording once it's got to the end or failed or whatever happens, and we'll take it from there. Right, this is me absolutely freaking out. Oh, I think it's working. I think I've got it working. I'm finding another disk. My God. Right, so this is my chaotic setup at the moment. Ignore the 2 floppy drives. I'm not doing anything with those. Is this? I think this is an ST disk. Sorry for the handheld. Yep. Right. Let me see if this will just copy across. Right. Don't know what this is. Star Red PRG. So that's copied, apparently. Right, let's open up C. Thank God it's there. No idea what this game is. Right, let me tell you what I've done with this before I forget. Right, I've done almost nothing with it. I've almost given up. I was trying to read schematics, which I was struggling to see because the quality just didn't seem to be there enough for me to enable it. Literally, all I've done is I thought, right, I'm going to start reseating the IC. So I've taken the cover off again. You can see I've got an IC there. Those of you cleverer than me will know what that one's for. And everything else is soldered to the board. And the other thing that I did is I just took the ribbon cables off and give them a clean with my trusty contact cleaner spray. Probably a cheaper version of Deoxit. And I've reseated that IC and I've put that ribbon cable back on, and now miraculously everything is friggin' working. Right, now I need to see if I can format the disk. Do I want to do that, or do I just want to delete everything and know that I have a working system? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Right, I've had time to calm down now, and here it is, sat under my SNES. I don't know if it's going to live here forever, but it's there for now. I just thought I'd give you one last look at it working. Just put it in the mount, free my hands up. So I've relabeled one of the folders to games. A few games I've put in there, and who doesn't love mud pies? So that's it, loading perfectly off the hard disk. Let's try another one. Obviously you know it's going to work. Booting up. What about Joust? Try one more. And there we go. Working perfectly. So there you have it, my Atari 20 meg hard drive. I don't know what I'm going to use it for. I wanted it just because I wanted it. I used to see the advertisements in the magazines and I dreamed of having one, and it was far beyond my means at the time. I think the other thing that I've loved about this is finding those old files, the old letters. It was interesting looking through that. It's perhaps a warning to us all to make sure we delete things as we get rid of stuff. But I think most importantly was seeing where the machine used to live when it was new. You might not like that, but to me that's really interesting and quite a rare thing. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up or a subscribe if you want to see more. It really makes a difference to my channel in terms of YouTube pumping it out and other people seeing it. If you'd like to support me further, there is a link in the description. Every penny counts, as they say. Thank you for watching. I wish you well, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.